In this video, I will be discussing how DNA fingerprinting can be used to solve a crime involving the characters of That 70s Show. In preparation for her big Thanksgiving meal, Kitty Foreman had spent the past 2 days in the kitchen. The day before, she had made her extra special pumpkin pie. As she was setting the table the next day and was uncovering the dishes, she realized that half the pie had gone missing. So, she obviously called the police, as this was a Thanksgiving emergency. Luckily, they were able to collect a small hair sample from the dish. The hair sample produced 4 potential suspects: Kitty's husband, Red, her son, Eric, and 2 of Eric's friends, Hyde and Kelso, who were also at her house and eating all of their food. The police requested fingerprint samples from all 4 of the subjects so that they could conduct a DNA fingerprint analysis against the collected hair sample from the scene of the crime. DNA was collected and then amplified for 2 VNTR Loci, which were ran on 2 separate gels and created a DNA fingerprinting analysis gel that can be used to compare the hair sample with Kitty's DNA, since she made the pie, and the 4 suspects. Looking at both loci will make it easier to see which suspect's DNA aligns the most with the sample, and therefore who stole the pie, because their DNA will match perfectly at both of the loci. First, we will look at the VNTR Locus 1 results. When looking at the sample in comparison to the DNA in Kitty's, you can see that Kelso and Hyde's banding patterns are a perfect match. Although some of the other suspects have a 1 band that matches the sample, it doesn't mean they are guilty, because both bands must match each band of the sample for them to even be considered potentially guilty. We then repeat this process with the VNTR Locus 2, and at this one, Eric and Kelso's bands are a perfect match to the sample. This leads the police to believe that Kelso is guilty of stealing Kitty's pie because he had a perfect match for both of the VNTR locis. It's also important to note that although Eric is Red's son and Kitty's son, it can be further exemplified through the DNA fingerprinting gel. Each band represents a DNA loci, and one allele is passed down from the mother and the other from the father. In the first loci, it is shown that Eric inherited his upper banded allele from his mother and his lower band from his father. And the same thing can be seen in Locus 2, as Eric's lower band matches Red's and his upper band matches Kitty's. And here are my references.